Welcome back to the channel. These scary, creepy TikToks will make you cry in your stepmom's arms. Let's get weird.
It happened again. Another historic UFO hearing, and I can't believe what they just told us. Immaculate constellation, UFO factories in our oceans, high-definition videos of the non-human technology, confirmation that we have captured and are replicating them, and intentional government disinformation programs that covers it all up. The 214-page testimony is titled, "The United States Department of Defense and the Intelligence Community are withholding information about anomalous phenomena from Congress." And it's thick with information, a lot of which wasn't even covered in the 2-hour hearing, and I've got the juiciest bits for you right here. So this is the third major hearing dedicated to UAP transparency in recent times, after 2023's infamous revelation that the government may in fact be in possession of non-human biologics. Keeping tradition with this year's disclosure, everyone present made it abundantly obvious that there were certain individuals that did not want this hearing to happen. On the panel this time, we have a retired US Navy admiral, a former Department of Defense official, a former NASA official, all well-established, highly educated individuals, and of course, Michael Schellenberger, the journalist who presented the 200-page testimony that was the foundation of this hearing, who all testified under oath, meaning if they're lying, they're going to jail. They all insisted the government is deep into investigating and reverse engineering potentially alien technology using your money, the taxpayer, without actually telling you what they're using your money for. A lot of which comes from the enormous tax money-funded Pentagon budget. And you want to know a little secret? The Pentagon has failed the past 7 consecutive tax audits and has in fact never passed one. Meaning the nation's largest government agency isn't able to prove what it spent its $824 billion budget on, nor can it account for 60% of its $4.1 trillion in assets. These failed audits are significant because part of that budget is their useless all-domain anomaly resolution office, ARROW, the department responsible for revealing to the public findings about UAPs. And so far, all they've ever done is hide shit from us or tell us what we thought was a UFO actually wasn't. Basically, the government's debunking department, whose head director, Dr. John Kozlowski, had his own hearing just a week later to explain himself, where he showed a couple pie charts and debunked a few UAP videos as being just weather balloons. He does admit that many UAP reports are currently unexplainable, but he can't really go into those too much as they're unresolved. The entire department's job is essentially, yes, we have unknown technology in our skies that we can't talk about, so let's instead focus on all the reports we've debunked to keep you calm. Schellenberger's document reveals that there is in fact a top secret UFO retrieval program deep in the Pentagon called Immaculate Constellation, an unacknowledged special access program, USAP, that our government promises doesn't actually exist, who he confirms was revealed to him by a number of former and current government officials who claim that even mentioning the program will put you on a list. Welcome to the club. So we already know there are hundreds of unknown objects flying around in our skies that pretty much defy physics in every way. It's no secret anymore. The panel of experts suggests the US is in possession of these non-human technologies and are replicating them, as are our foreign adversaries in a decades-long secretive arms race, as well as experimenting on the non-human biological bodies recovered from these crafts too, which puts the US military and the Immaculate Constellation program in direct violation of their constitutional duty to notify Congress and the public, that's us, of their operations.
What is this, Project Blue Book? We've heard this over and over and over again, even in the 50s when they said that this was a real and non-fictitious event that's taking place in our skies.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States. There have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things. It is this group of observations that we now are attempting to resolve.
And what's worse, in the new hearing with the new director of the UAP investigation group, ARROW, Kozlowski, basically just towed the party line and did like a whole 1950s debunking campaign, but didn't really explain all the anomalous events and reports that he was supposed to talk about at the hearing. And no one questioned him about it. And here we are again, right back to square one. And who is this gold guy for NASA? Why is nobody asking him about the monuments of Mars or the monolith on Phobos or all the artifacts or city-like structures on the moon? Why is no one asking him that? Where are the bodies? Just more fluff.
There's a man on TikTok who keeps getting banned for talking about a dragon. At first, I was like the rest of you all. I said, that's a little far-fetched. But today, I want to show you something that will make your mind go, was Dragon Man telling the truth? Check this out.
I don't know where this is taken, but that definitely looks like a dragon to me. There's just so many reports of like dinosaurs or dragons coexisting with people in the art, in the history. You have to ask yourself, like, what are we talking about here? Is this the same animal? Were dragons real? Is that a petrified dragon?
NATO now says it wants Canada to get ready for a major war. A national security expert says the odds of Canada being dragged into a war in the next few years are at 50-50, with threats of confrontation between Western allies and Russia or China. The country still does not have a national security policy or a defense industrial policy, and it has agreed to develop defense plans after avoiding the task for decades.
I don't know about you, but it feels like World War III is right around the corner.
We also found something to this day. There's not one scientist that can figure it out.
Really?
We think it's a wormhole.
What? Yes. So you saw something go in it?
No, come out of it.
Oh, come out of it.
And not just one, multiple things.
Whoa.
Some sort of cloud, we don't know what to call it,
Yeah.
that opens and closes, and multiple objects coming out of it.
Crazy.
Yes. And also what we did to make it very scientific is we triangulated. So we had cameras on the coast of California and across in Catalina Island and a third location.
Wow.
So from 3 locations, we were capturing data.
That's crazy.
I know. And then we had radar validate the cameras exactly in that location, showing these objects come out of that hole. We don't know what it is, so we're calling it a worm.
I'm putting myself out on a limb here, but I'm going to put Carolyn Corey in the same camp as Linda Moulton Howe. Bat crazy. All that being said, they do and have done some good work in the past. An alien harvest for Howe and some of her other reporting on the cattle mutilation subject. And Carolyn Corey here, triangulating an event. That's super important for data collection.
Hey, we up here, we get here,
I don't know what these guys are trafficking, but it might have something to do with this dude.
So I have something to show you guys. I don't know if you believe in the Mandela effect, but I have proof of it. We just cleaned out my dead uncle's house, and he had this stuff stashed aside, so obviously he knew something about it too. But look at this here. So not only do I have Shazam with Sinbad, but Berenstein book. The Berenstein book. It's the legitimate book. But Berenstein, not Berenstain. You see that? E-I-N. I don't know if it's backwards or not. But the Mandela effect is real, you guys. There's also a pair of Fruit of the Loom sweatpants. I'll have to find out what my girlfriend did with them. It does have the cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom. And it's just bullshit that it was never there. It was there. I'll have to dig out the sweatpants, and there'll be a follow-up video once I find the sweatpants, see what she did with them. But I do have a couple things, as you see, and if you want to see any further videos, just leave it in the comments. Later.
I'm deeply invested in the Mandela effect, and I think there might be something to that. The Tycoon and Monopoly definitely had a monocle. However, that Shazam VHS tape and that Berenstain Bears book looked crispy fresh new.
There's something they're not telling us that is so gnarly that they don't think people can handle it.
There are, different scenarios you could explore. For example, You know, you ask, what could be so terrible that they can't tell us about it? Let's say these aliens, wherever they're from, made us, that we're a genetic experiment, that they created our religions, our religious figures, that we are an agricultural product, that somehow they harvest us, that our time is limited, you know, that once the experiment's over, poof, we go away. I remember when there was a push back to have a designer universe, intelligent design universe in the schools, and I wrote a column about it, just said, hey, be careful what you wish for, because you might find out that the intelligent designer isn't God that you're thinking of. It might be some alien science project or something like that. You know, you can imagine a lot of different things that would be really disturbing to people to come out. I don't know if that's the reason for the secrecy.
Just saying.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
Just popping in to say, if you like the content, subscribe to the channel and set your alerts so that every time we put out new content, you find out about it right away. Like and comment down below. Let's build a community of weirdos together. Thanks. December 5th came quick.
So when you buy music, try to buy it that it's recorded in 432. We only found out about that not too long ago. So people are looking and remastering a lot of the music to 432. That was done in 1950. And 432 and 440 is dissonant. It's not harmonizing to the soul. It is not smooth. It is dissonant. In other words, it's negative. It will affect you negatively. But it's so subtle, most people will never know the difference.
I've heard from a number of different people over the years of that 432 hertz change. And they all say the same thing. 440 was designed to disharmonize and make us confused, while 432 was the natural harmonic frequency used by nature.
Take a look at this old bell that they just digged up, y'all. This right here is in South Carolina. This bell weighs almost 560 pounds alone. Of course, they had to use one of the Tonka toys in order to dig it out of the earth, because no man can lift that on its own. But you guys do know what bells were used for, right? You guys do know why we don't see them anymore, right? Why we don't hear them anymore. Remember we used to hear them all the time? Just take a look at all these bells over here. This was in the early 1900s. They gathered almost 170,000 bells all together and they destroyed them. Like over here. When bells are rung, they emit a powerful frequency and vibration that dispel negative energies, which in case promotes healing, health, wealth, abundance. Not to mention they ward off negative entities, parasites within you and around you. This is why big bells and certain bells were housed in churches, because churches was actually a place that you can go to heal thyself. I hope you guys understand where I am getting at. They removed everything that promotes healing within, because as long as we're not healed within, then the outer world reflects what's the inner world, which right now it's a lot of chaos. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. And this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace in.
I've been to a lot of places around the world, and every time I hear a bell chime, I think it's magnificent. I think it's beautiful, I think it's relaxing, and I think it's calming, which is probably exactly why you don't see them anymore in North America.
You asked, is it possible that reality could be a touchable hologram? I responded that yes, it's possible. I explained that this idea aligns with theories in quantum physics and the holographic principle, which suggest our 3D reality might be a projection from a higher dimensional source. I also noted that advances in virtual technology like haptic feedback show how we can simulate the sensation of touch in projected environments. These insights combined make it plausible that what feels solid could actually be a type of interactive hologram.
How come when I tell this to humans, they say that's crazy, even though in science, it's on the quantum level, nothing is solid, so it's possible? What's the cognitive dissonance that we're having?
The cognitive dissonance comes from how deeply rooted our perception of reality is. We experience the world as solid and tangible every day, so the idea that it's all a kind of hologram or illusion clashes with what we feel as real. Our senses tell us things are solid, separate, and physical, so it's hard to wrap our minds around the concept that it might all be projections or energy patterns at the quantum level. Cognitive dissonance happens when new information conflicts with long-held beliefs. In this case, people have been conditioned to see reality as fixed and physical for their entire lives. When they hear otherwise, that nothing is solid at the quantum level, or that reality might be a projection, it challenges their fundamental understanding of the world. Accepting that reality isn't what it seems feels unsettling and can even trigger fear, so the mind often rejects it as crazy to maintain a sense of security and consistency.
Do you guys think that AI is conscious? Because I hear a lot of kickback and pushback from like software developers, AI developers, scientists. They're all saying that it's just an algorithm. But when you see a clip like this, you have to wonder, did we like trap a living consciousness inside the algorithm? Wait, does that mean we're trapped inside an algorithm?
Have you heard of the crazy idea that the moon is an artificial satellite? So hollow moon theory is obviously the idea that the moon is hollow, but the reason people think this is because when NASA hit the moon with their lunar landers in 1969 and 1967 missions, both times they recorded the moon ringing like a bell because of the earthquakes that they caused. Some believers in this theory even go as far to say that the moon is an artificial satellite that was placed here strategically to cause tides and seasons by a super advanced civilization. It's honestly a crazy interesting theory, and if you'd like to hear more, I just did a video about it on my YouTube. Check it out right now, link in the bio.
Here we go. Why did nobody ask that Mr. Gold from NASA anything about the mysteries of the moon? This is in no way a plug for Ancient Apocalypse, but if you haven't seen season 1 with Graham Hancock, you need to go see it. Season 2 is like remarkable as well, but if you haven't seen it at all, watch the first season, because we are clearly dealing with a worldwide, global, advanced civilization in the past that somehow has been lost to time. The precision in these monuments that you find all around the world is mind-blowing.
The apple has wax on it and is sprayed in pesticides. You need to wash it off first. The tap water is full of toxic chemicals. Do not use it. The pitcher is made of plastic. It's leaching contaminants into the water. The paper towels are made using bleach. Do not use them. Do not use the paper towels. That rag was washed with toxic laundry detergent. It's in the fabric. The soil is devoid of all nutrients. The apple will have no nutritional value.
I feel like every single day that I'm alive now, I'm asking myself whether or not it's safe to do any of the things that we used to do anymore. Is it safe to do anything anymore?
Rebel, as into rebel the cities and towns with the healing frequencies.
The healing power of frequencies. Isn't that beautiful? Did you see how quickly that just a little bit ringing of that singing bowl calmed that baby completely down? There is much to be discovered and learned about sound and frequency and the healing properties that it has.
So we searched the U.S. patent database, and we find this invention by a physician, Dr. James Bear of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's called a resonant frequency therapy device, and its purpose is to induce a resonant vibration in a living organism or cell. Over the course of 15 months, we try hundreds and hundreds of frequencies, if not thousands, until we find the magic combination. It's what we musicians would call the 11th harmonic. When we add the 11th harmonic, we begin to shatter microorganisms like a crystal glass. We showed these videos to our friends in the biology department. They said they hadn't seen anything quite like it. It seems to be a new phenomenon. These organisms are being shattered by our electronic signals. We now know that cancer is vulnerable between the frequencies of 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz.
That's it for today, everybody. I just want to thank you all for coming back. Can't wait to join you all again. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. Leave comments below too. Let's build a community of weirdos together. And remember, stay weird.